Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kate and I love all things makeup, skincare, beauty, and fun. Today we're going to be talking about all of my favorite pink makeup in my collection. This series is inspired by Betty Jean series, who does a phenomenal job going over like each color of the rainbow and like really breaking it down. I will link her down below. If you don't follow her, I strongly encourage you do. I adore her. I adore her content. Without any further ado, let's go, because pink is my favorite color and there's a lot to get into. So we'll start off by talking about lip products. This was hard for me because I have a lot of pink makeup, and it was also kind of tricky specifically as far as like lip products go, to discern between pinky and peachy and coral and mauve, because a lot of them have those pink undertones, but I really was trying to stick with true pink. So just bear with me. We'll start off with a couple of glosses. Both of these are by Fenty. I have the little minis because admittedly I have a decent amount of glosses, and gloss is not something that up until recently I was able to like wear every day because I had to wear a mask at work, and you can't, well, you could wear gloss with a mask, but it's nothing short of a mess. But I have mine in the shade Fussy as well as Sweet Mouth. Fussy is definitely my most worn shade. I have a full size of this and it's looking really rough, but I enjoy this formula. It's not my absolute top tier formula, but these two colors are absolutely stunning and beautiful and pink and lovely. Those are what they look like. They definitely can be like built up on top of another pink lipstick or liner to be more intense as far as pink, but you can also sheer these out for a sheer wash of pink color, and I just love them. I have 3 bullet lipsticks that I think fall into the like specifically pink category. Again, this was kind of challenging because I have a lot of lip products specifically because pink nudes are my favorite. However, I was really trying to weed out the ones that have too much of a nude or beige or mauve undertone. So the first one, I'm not sure if this is still available, and I'm super sorry if it's not. This is by ColourPop. It's from their Malibu Barbie collection, and this is in the shade Dream House. This is one of my favorite lipsticks, admittedly, of all time, because it is more of a brighter, poppier pink, but you can mix this with a more nude lip liner and it certainly is a little bit more subdued. My next 2 are by Revlon, and again, so like top tier products lip wise of all time. The first one by Revlon is in the shade 016 Candy Addict. This is their matte formula. Again, both of these I wear very, very consistently. This one is a little bit, you can see how this one's like a little bit more deep in Dream House, whereas Candy Addict is a little bit more cool toned, I think, pink. And then this next one is probably my favorite of all time. If you don't like a more like white based pink, you certainly will not appreciate this. However, this is Make It Pink. Again, it's that matte formula. I love a pale pink. So for me, this one is probably my most worn because it's a little bit lighter, a little bit more subdued. I can wear this with a pink lip liner and this pink, light pink really pops, or I can wear it with a more nude lip liner and it kind of like disguises itself a little bit better, you know? It can pull a little bit more neutral. And then I totally almost forgot about this one. This is new to me. This is by Glamlite, and this is their Daphne lipstick. I feel like this is going to be one of my favorites of all time. I love a pale neutral pink, and so when I saw this, you bet your bottom dollar, I was hot on the case. You can kind of see next to this one, it almost looks a little bit more peachy, but rest assured, on its own, without being compared next to these other pinks, it really does look like such a subdued, soft pink. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't think this is technically like it's in a bullet form, but I'm not sure if I would call this a gloss or a lipstick because, quite frankly, this is by L'Oreal and it's their Color Riche Shine I'm not really sure if you would call it a gloss or a lipstick, and I'll show you why, because it is such a beautiful pinky color while also having like extraordinary shine. This is one of my favorite formulas of lip product of all time, and I'm actually going to put it on right now. I'll show you, because it really does such a lovely job of combining the gloss effect into a lipstick so that I don't have to layer products. I find that sometimes, and this is probably a user error, but I find that sometimes when I put my gloss over my lipstick, if I apply too much of one or the other or both, my mouth gets really gloppy, and I hate that look. I hate that texture. It like literally makes me nauseous. So this is like the best of both worlds, and it's not sticky, it's not gloopy, it's not gloppy. 10 out of 10. If you have not tried the Color Riche line by L'Oreal, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. I have a couple of lip liners that I want to bring to your attention. Again, this one is by ColourPop, and it's part of their Malibu Barbie line, which again, I'm like, as I'm saying this out loud, I'm fairly confident, unfortunately, that this has been discontinued. If you have it in your collection though, use this as a reminder to whip it out because it's beautiful. It's right here, and it's, again, it's just like that true bright pink. I love this. Of course it goes beautifully with the matching lipstick, but it's also one of those that I can wear with a nude gloss or a nude lipstick, and it's going to transform that and bring the pink out in it. 10 out of 10, would recommend. Another one by ColourPop is this one here, and this is in the shade Starship. And honestly, it's pretty similar to Dream House right here. This one I think is just a little bit more of a poppy pink, whereas this one is a little bit more nude, but they're very, very similar. So if you can't get your hands on Dream House, certainly, hopefully Starship is available. ColourPop is one of those brands. I love them. I love their products, but like talking about them on YouTube is really tricky because I'm like, did you discontinue it? Because it's likely that you did, because nothing I feel like sticks around for very long with ColourPop, but I digress. I have two more lip liners. These are both super bold, so not for the faint of heart, not for those of us, or for those of you, I should not include myself in this, that don't like the color pink, because you're not going to love these, but these are both by Jaclyn Cosmetics, and I have the shade I'm In It, which is kind of a berry pink, but a pink nonetheless. So if I'm really feeling myself and I'm really feeling bold and I want to do a neutral eye, I am very likely to reach into either of these. And again, this one is I'm In It, and then the next one that I have is Yes Biche. And this one is even more, it's this one almost looks berry comparatively to this one. This one is like a true neon bright pink. If you don't like bright lips, again, neither of these are going to be for you. I will just note, I don't want to I could get into this on a different video, but it's come to light recently that Jaclyn Hill has not presented herself in a very kind way towards others. So certainly I understand if you do not support Jaclyn Cosmetics. Of course, this all came out after I already own quite a bit of her products. So that being said, I do not, of course, condone her behavior of being unkind towards others. And I'm going to probably continue to use her products until they go bad, but it's not a brand that I personally am shopping from right now. That being said, if you still love Jaclyn, if you still love Jaclyn Cosmetics, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying for me and like how I feel about the things that I've seen online, I'm just not super comfortable continuing to purchase her products. It's likely that they will be brought up sometimes in my videos because I own them, and I will stand by that a lot of her formulas I love. So do with that information as you will. This gloss snuck away from me and I nearly forgot it. This is the new Daphne gloss by Glamlite. This is part of their Scooby-Doo collection, and this is another really beautiful pink gloss. Unlike the Fenty glosses though, this has some shimmer in it. You can see it's this one right up here at the top. So it does have like a little bit of shiftiness because those specks of shimmer are different colors other than pink. It looks almost like some goldeny green in there. If you don't like that, certainly I wouldn't recommend this, but I think if you enjoy a more sparkly lip gloss, this one is stunning. I also don't find that their formula is like gritty or uncomfortable as far as texture goes. I'm not really sure where this one like fits in the mix of things, and it's kind of like on a leg of its own. This is by Jaclyn Cosmetics, and this is her lip cushion in the shade Last First Kiss. I enjoy this formula because unlike a liquid lipstick, you're not going to get any of that like crackly or uncomfortability in the dry down. And so here it is right here, Last First Kiss. It's a true pink, true rosy pink. I really enjoy this formula. It's not going to be like a transfer proof formula, but it definitely dries down and is longer lasting certainly than like a bullet lipstick or a gloss. I love this as well with gloss on top of it. I really enjoy this formula and I love this color. That being said, I know I just kind of bashed on liquid lipsticks, but I work in healthcare in a residential setting, and liquid lipsticks are like the one thing that lasts when I have to have a mask on or when I'm running around all day. I have two by Laura Lee Los Angeles, and I have one in the shade Skimpy and the other in the shade Spicy Pink. Skimpy is more of a pale pink, kind of leaning nude. And then Spicy Pink is a true like dusty rose color. So there they are right here. I just think this one here and that one is Spicy Pink. Almost looks a little bit more peach next to the shade Skimpy, but rest assured that indeed it is pink. Hence the name Spicy Pink. I think just when you see all these pinks together, you can kind of see like the different tones and such, but both of them are beautiful. I really enjoy this formula. My only gripe with it is that it kind of goes bad quicker than some of my other ones. So that is something to bear in mind. That being said, I still continue to wear them even when they start to become kind of that like moussey consistency, and they work fine for me. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just telling you what I do. I have one lipstick by Lunar Beauty, and his are the kind that do transfer, so they're not going to completely dry down in the same way that Laura Lee Los Angeles's do. And admittedly, most of my shades from Lunar Beauty are not super pink. Even this one is a little bit of a stretch, but I figured I would include it because I wasn't totally sure where else I would include it. This is the swatch right here, and I don't even think I told you the name. The name is Perfection. This is, I mean, the name says it itself. For me, this is like my perfect pinky nude. I will say that Lunar Beauty probably has my favorite, if not second favorite, liquid lipstick formula, despite the fact that it's not transfer proof, which typically or historically I should say, I do prefer. This one is one of the most comfortable, and I do find that it's super long lasting, so love that formula. However, I would say like my number one is actually the Jaclyn Cosmetics formula. So I have a couple to talk about. Two of them are more pinky nudes and one is real punchy. So the first one is Outspoken, and this one is like a beautiful true petal pink with just a little bit of depth. So that one is right here. So it does have a little bit more depth certainly than some of these others here, but I feel like it's a true dusty rose. I love that one. And then I think this is probably my most worn, and this is the shade Be Brave, and it's just a little bit more subdued. It's a little bit more subdued and it has a little bit more of a brownie undertone, but nonetheless, I absolutely love this one, and it's probably one of my most worn liquid lipsticks. 10 out of 10. I love this. The last lip product I want to talk about is again by Jaclyn Cosmetics. This is super punchy and bright. Again, if you don't like brights, you're not going to love this, but I feel like there's a time and a place. This is Yes Beige, and it is a true Barbie pink. This is a true Barbie pink. So again, not for the faint of heart and not for somebody that does not like a bold lip or a pink lip, but again, time and place, especially summertime. I feel like a soft, neutral, ethereal eye mixed with a really bright, bold pink, chef's kiss. 10 out of 10. And again, I love that formula. Next, I have a couple of pink eyeliners as well as some single liquid shadows in the shade, of course, pink that I want to talk about. This first one is by LA Girl, and this is technically a lip liner. That being said, I admittedly use this specifically as an eyeliner and exclusively as an eyeliner. I just don't think mixing eyeliners with lip liners is probably the best idea. Putting something that was on your mouth near your eyes just kind of seems like a recipe for disaster to me. But it's a super bright neon-y pink. I really enjoy this formula. There's a long shelf life on these. These are 24 months before they expire, so you get a lot of bang for your buck. These are also super cost effective. Love that. The only one I would love more is this one by Illuminati, and it's their gel paint in electric pink. And it's very similar. The only thing is it's perhaps a hair more neon. This one looked really bright until you pull this one out. I'm honestly not sure if this is still available. I'm 100% confident I got these in some kind of subscription box and have not heard anything about the brand since. So if you can get your hands on these, I have this in the hot pink and the bright blue. I absolutely love them. I wish I could find, admittedly, more shades in them because I love this formula. But again, both of these pinks, super fun when we're doing really bright and colorful eye looks. I have this liquid eyeshadow by Rare Beauty, and this is in the shade Nearly Rose. This is just such a perfect shadow for those one and done looks. I really do find not only the color to be beautiful, but as far as the formulation goes, this product is beautiful. It really does blend out seamlessly with your fingers or with a brush. And it, again, Nearly Rose, it kind of speaks for itself, but it has that beautiful rosy color. And then last but certainly not least, as far as like kind of one-off single category products go, is this one by Lethal Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Gateway. This one I was a little torn on because it is pretty shifty, but I would say that the main color that you are going to get out of this is pink. That being said, it definitely has a yellow goldy shift to it, so it's one of those really special shades. I love these by Lethal okay. Well, it's not even going to show a pink. Let me show you the bottle. No. Okay, great. Let's see if I can... see if I can like shift it. You can see here, this is the color, like this pink color is what I see in this tube, but when I hold it like this, you guys see gold. But so it definitely has that gold shift, but for me the predominant color is pink, despite the fact that my camera is only picking up the gold. Good gravy, Marie. I have 4 different pink toned highlighters. I love all of them. Right now I'm really going through like a pink highlighter phase. So I feel like this collection will probably grow. Maybe we can revisit this conversation next year as well. The first one is by Pat McGrath. I'm pretty confident this was limited edition. This is in the shade Divine Rose, and as you would expect, it is a rosy highlighter. It does have a gold shift to it, but it's super beautiful and just like glow from within when it's on the cheek. I love this highlighter so much. This next one is by Give Me Glow, and it's in the shade Baby Doll. I'm not sure if Give Me Glow still has their loose highlighters available. I know at one point they were looking to discontinue them and they were super steeply discounted. This one is definitely more of an icy baby pink highlighter, especially if you compare to the Divine Rose. This one is definitely more icy, more baby pink, less rosy. I love this one. A little bit goes a long way with any loose highlighter. The packaging, I just don't know what the ideal packaging is, to be honest, because anytime I open it, the little glitter particles kind of go everywhere. It's a bit of a mess, but nonetheless, I love that highlighter. And if I am looking for a beaming highlight, specifically that has like that icy tone, that is my go-to. Next, would this be a highlighter topic if I wasn't talking about Kaleidos? They have some of the best highlighters on the market. This is their Star Surfer highlighter in the shade, or excuse me, this is their Space Age highlighter in the shade Star Surfer. Again, this is going to be one of those really special shifty shades, but definitely for me it leans more pink. You can kind of see these two are kind of similar. I would definitely say, and it's part of it is because it's a loose highlighter, that the Give Me Glow is a little bit more beaming, but they give very similar vibes, although comparatively, this one almost looks like lavender compared to this one, but I assure you in person, this one's just a more warm tone pink, where this is a little bit more cool toned. Both stunning, both lovely. The last pink highlighter I want to talk about is actually newer to my collection, and I'm so happy I have this finally. This is not new, but it's new to me, and it's What a Brat by Fenty. Why did it take me so long to buy this? The world may never know. But it is so beautiful, so special. If you like pink, and especially if you like pink highlighters, this is like a true bubblegum candy pink. So you can kind of see how these have definitely more of a white base. This one definitely has more of that pinky, shimmery base. But all four of these, honestly, so special and so stunning. Like if I had to declutter any of them, I would be devastated. 10 out of 10, I love them all. Next, we will get into single blushes, followed by face palettes, and we'll finish the video out with eyeshadow palettes. Starting off strong, this is by Jill Stewart Beauty. I don't see a lot of people talk about this beauty brand, but this is like one of my favorite pink blushes of all time. It does not get enough love in my collection. This is their Blooming Dew Oil in Blush. Absolutely stunning. It is a super opaque buildable formula. So it's one of those that you can really build up to be super intense, but you can also sheer it out to be much softer. It's just a true like watermelon pink, and I feel like especially this time of year, this is like one of my go-to colors. I love anything in like that watermelon, really bright punchy pink shade in the summertime. So yes to this. If you haven't tried this one by Jill Stewart, I love this. Next should be like absolutely no surprise, because I feel like all spring I've been talking about this blush. This is by Too Faced. It is their Cloud Crush blush in the shade Candy Clouds. I feel like everyone was talking about this all spring, admittedly. And it's that true white-based, blue-toned baby pink I cannot get enough of lately. I don't know what the trouble is here, but it's so beautiful. If you don't prefer a white based pink, certainly this pink is not going to be for you. However, I love it. It works well in my skin tone, and I love this formula. It really does a nice, beautiful job of like blurring the skin, as well as you can really build it up to be like a super punchy baby pink. 10 out of 10. I love it. There's going to be a theme here, and it's going to be that I love baby doll light pinks. This next one is by Kaleidos. I admittedly, of course, the name isn't on this packaging. Of course it's not. However, I love this formula, and I love this pink. This is the one that comes in the purple packaging. If I remember, I'll try to include the name on the screen down below. This one is very similar to that, again, that Too Faced blush, where it has that white base, and it's just a true bright pink. It's almost more punchy, I would say, than the Too Faced one. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more intense right off the bat, the Kaleidos one is 10 out of 10. Would recommend. But if you're looking for something more buildable, Too Faced might be the way to go with that. It just really depends on your preference, or if you're like me, you'll collect all of them with no regrets. This next one is by Unearthly Cosmetics. Again, same. We're really gonna see how deep my obsession with this color pink has gone, especially this year. This is in the shade Cherub, and it's, again, that bright and light, cool toned baby pink with that like whiter base. And I just love this. I almost want to say this one might be my favorite out of the three, just because it is the most almost like poppy, like the brightest. This one, like, especially when like compared to each other, this one is like definitely more subdued. This one has like a little bit more of a mauvey rose tone, and then this one is like punchy pink. I love this one. It's also a fairly cost-effective option, so if you have not tried Unearthly Cosmetics blushes, I don't think you'd be disappointed. Next is this one by Glamlite. I feel like everyone and their sister talked about this winter and spring, and this is the blush that goes, again, right alongside all of her little friends in being a bright, white-based pink. And I love this. These two are actually incredibly similar. So if you have one, you probably don't need the other. That being said, I am happy I own both because I just love this shade of pink. For me, it's really flattering. I have a cool undertone and I am pale as a ghost. I am melanin deficient. So for me, these shades work really, really well and I absolutely love them. Okay, the last one I'll talk about as far as like this specific shade of like bright baby doll white base pink is in this Juvia's Place palette. It comes with two different ones, which I honestly appreciate so much because it does, of course, have this really light toned pink shade that I have apparently 17 copies of, but it also has the watermelon side, which is just stunning. Like, just stunning. This is that lighter one by Juvia's Place, and then this is that watermelon punch side. Let's see if I can... This is their Blush Rouge this is volume 4. Again, this is a more cost-effective option, especially compared to like the Too Faced one that retails for nearly $30. If you're looking for something that is pretty similar, but definitely has more pigment, Juvia's Place is the way to go. The last single blush I want to talk about is by Patrick Ta, and this is in the shade She's That Girl. These come with both a cream and a powder blush. These are not that pink. I promise. They're not that bubblegum pink. They almost have like a little bit more peach to them. But that being said, I love it nonetheless. It's going, I think, next to all of these like blue-based pinks, it's going to look more peach, but by itself, not compared to its pink stepsisters, it's definitely more of a dusty rose peach. So those are the two right there. And again, this is in the shade She's That Girl. It just has a little bit more of a peach undertone and a little bit more rosiness to it, whereas these are definitely more of that white based. But I love them all nonetheless. Getting into face, cheek, and eye palettes, I have a couple here. The first two are by Natasha Denona. The first one I wanted to talk about was the Love Glow palette. I'm not sure if this was limited edition or not. I want to say it was, but I also want to say it's still available. So a little confusing there. But the one that I really wanted to talk about in this palette is the Diamond Powder. It's super beautiful, super shimmery. You can use this as a blush topper, but also as a highlight. I love her palettes. I feel like she really does do such a beautiful job. I don't want to necessarily swatch the others because this one specifically is definitely more peachy, this one's more mauve, and then this one's more golden toned. But that one shade in there is just like such a beautiful, sparkly shade of pink. It kind of reminds me, honestly, of the Fenty What a Brat. I love it. I love it so much. Next is the Natasha Denona Love Palette. This got like really mixed reviews and it's a super polarizing product in that people either absolutely loved it or they couldn't stand it. I was on the camp of absolutely loving it. And then this is what it looks like on the inside. I will swatch, of course, the eyeshadows for you. There are two pink shadows in Esme and Juliet. Then there's also a beautiful blush in here, and I think the blush was honestly the most polarizing as far as this palette goes. So we have the two eyeshadows here. This is Esme, and then this is Juliet, and then this is that blush. It does have that white base, so I think as far as like skin tones and undertones go, I can absolutely see how this blush would not be for everybody. That being said, I am melanin deficient, cool undertones, and so for me it works really well and it looks really flattering on my skin and I simply love it. Natasha Denona was the gateway for me into cream blush. Her Bloom palette, I came out several years ago in the spring and it had like a berry toned cream blush. Was like my first cream blush that I had ever really like dove into and I loved it, and ever since I continue to buy her palettes and I love her cream products. The next palette is by Laura Lee Los Angeles, and this is her Blush Aesthetic palette. This has a whole slew of different colors, but it has these two pinks right here that to me really stand out. The first one is going to be in Chateau Rose. And we also have the shade Tiger Lily. So right here is Chateau Rose, and then here is Tiger Lily. Chateau Rose kind of leans a little bit more close to these like cool white-based blue toned pinks, whereas Tiger Lily has a little bit more of that peachy, warm undertone. Both are absolutely beautiful. I enjoy this formula so much. I wish that she would come out with another one of these with more shimmer or like satin finishes, but that being said, I still love this palette, and those two pink shades are to die for. The last two palettes I have to talk about are both by Lunar Beauty. So he has volume 1 and volume 2. Of course, not all of these are pink. However, there are some pinks in both of them that I feel we should talk about. So we have this pink right here, as well as this more muted pink right here. So this really more soft, more obviously pink one is Stargaze, and then we have, oh excuse me, it's Pink Moon, and then the less obvious is Stargaze. I will swatch both of those, of course. So right here we have Pink Moon, which is like so beautiful pinky. It has a little kiss of peach, but so pretty. And then Pink Moon, or excuse me, Stargaze, almost, especially comparatively, looks a little bit peach, but I assure you, if you put it on, when I put it on my face, it definitely is a more like dusty rose pink, and I just love it. I think Lunar Beauty did a phenomenal job formulating these palettes, and it's one of my top blush formulas. In the volume 2, there's only one real standout pink shade, and it's this really bright watermelon-y shade here called Kawaii, and absolutely love this for the summertime. It's one of those that the watermelon shade I absolutely love in the summertime, and I'm less inclined to gravitate towards in other months just because, again, melanin deficiency. But in the summer, 10 out of 10. I love it so much. Last but certainly not least, we have to talk about pink eyeshadow. I really tried to curate this down because there are probably like 50 palettes that I could talk about that have beautiful pink shades, but we would literally be here all day. So we're gonna start strong with Glamlite. The first one I want to talk about is from their Hershey Kiss collection, and it has just, I feel like it has a beautiful color story in the way that it has these like really obvious bright pops of pink, but it also can build depth. Of course, we are talking about just the pinks here today, so I will swatch those for you. Glamlite has some of my favorite formulas, are absolutely one of my favorite indie brands, and I just love them so much. These are the two that are like the most obvious pink. I think when we look at this one definitely has some pink tones to it, but I think this is definitely more of like a berry pink. I guess we can consider it pink as well. But at any rate, I love Glamlite. I love their formula, and this palette has beautiful pinks. Would this even be a video about the color pink, which I am so sick of saying at this point, without the Strawberry Shortcake palette? She is the pink icon that we know and love. There are so many beautiful pinks in this palette that it makes me sick in the best way possible. It makes my heart so happy because I love pink. So these bottom 4 are all from the Strawberry Shortcake palette. Some of them are kind of similar, honestly, to the Hershey Kisses palette, but I am happy and elated to have them both in my collection because they both are so special and beautiful and unique on their own. I also couldn't talk about the color pink if I didn't mention the Natasha Denona Love palette. This was limited edition. I feel like in some retailers this is still available, but this is definitely like clearly a Valentine's Day inspired palette, and naturally that comes with some pinks as well. And I love Natasha Denona formula. I love the color pink, so you can imagine that this is like one of my favorite palettes in my collection. These two are the most obviously pink. Even swatching this, especially compared to the top ones, it looks a little bit more red, but I assure you that when, oh my gosh, I assure you that when applied to the eyes with the pinks from this palette, it definitely is a pink leaning shade. From Give Me Glow Cosmetics, this is their Vivid Rose palette, and this is just a pink and purple lover's dream. Obviously, I love the purple side as well, but today we're really focusing on pinks, and there are 4 pinks, including Spilled Tea Rose, Pop of Pink, Pretty Peony, and Pink Rosé. I will swatch them. Give Me Glow has more of a dry formula compared to some of the others. That being said, I don't find that they perform inadequately. Oh gosh, I swatched them horrifically. These are those shades from the Give Me Glow palette right over here. As I was saying, I don't find that they perform less well than others. I just find that I do have to build them a little bit more because they're a more thin consistency than some of my others. That being said, their shimmers are some of the most intense shimmers I've ever used, and they're a little bit thicker in consistency. So that's just something worth noting. That being said, I love this palette and I love these pinks. There were a couple of my Blend Bunny Cosmetics palettes that I could mention today, but I'm going to stick to the one, again, for the sake of time. The one I wanted to talk about was the Lure palette, and it has these pinks right here, this whole row, and it's such a beautiful gradient of pink. I can't stand it. It is so pretty. So those are the two shades from the Blend Bunny palette. We have Baited and then we have Booty right here. Again, like some of my most favorite shades of pink are those two right there. Like if I had to pick top two, it would be those, clearly. I have two different palettes here by Unearthly Cosmetics, both of which, of course, include pink. The first one is their Strawberry Milkshake palette that has such a unique and beautiful color story. These two pinks really stand out, though, as far as stealing the show in the pink world. The shimmery one is called Ripe, and then the more muted tone is called Topping. So those are them right there. Absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful. I love Unearthly's formula. I feel like they're one of those indie brands that just keeps getting better with time, and even their good formulas compared to their great formulas are significantly better than some of the mainstream options on the market. The next palette is their Sleepover palette, again by Unearthly Cosmetics. This is a pink lover's dream, so we're going to be swatching these three shades here. The one is called Bouquet. That really bright pink is called Flirty, and then that soft white-based blue toned is called Beloved. And those are those three swatched out right there. Simply stunning. 10 out of 10 would recommend. As luck would have it, this video is inspired by Betty Jean, aka Batty Bean, and it wouldn't be proper of me to not include her Planet Spirit palette with Odin's Eye, because there are some absolutely beautiful pinks in here. We're going to be swatching these two specifically. This is just such a watermelon dream, both of these. I love this color story, and this is like by far the some of the best eyeshadows Odin's Eye has put out. This color story though is especially special. I just feel like it's so well curated and so well thought out, and these pinks are just to die for. Look at those swatches. Absolutely insane. The next palette we're going to talk about is the Choo Choo palette by Viseart. This was originally limited edition, and I think this packaging that I currently have it in is like no more, but I'm fairly confident you can still access this just in different packaging. We're going to be talking about these two really bright neon pinks. These do not have shade names, so I cannot tell you them, but I will, of course, show you swatches. Simply beautiful. I love peach and pink together, especially in the spring and summer. I just feel like they complement each other so well, and they're so bright and vibrant, and I love Viseart's formula, so it was a must include. Our last two palettes are by ColourPop. One of them is definitely years old, and so I apologize for how she looks. I really need to replace her, and that is the Ooh La La palette. Mine has been through the ringer. She lost a shade. Thankfully it was a purple shade, so for today's video it really doesn't matter. This was like one of the first palettes that I ever bought from ColourPop, and it was like when it launched, and was like one of the reasons that I just absolutely loved the brand. So those last three shades right here, we have Big Sugar, Opulent, and Sandbar. Absolutely stunning, so bright, so colorful. I love ColourPop's formula. And then last but certainly not least is the Cloud Spun palette by ColourPop. This one is definitely a more muted color story, especially compared to Ooh La La. This one does have a pressed glitter. I'm not going to swatch that because we'll never get it off, but I will swatch, of course, some of the others for you. Realistically, I could swatch this entire palette because every single shade in here is pink, and I'm getting pink all over my dress. But here, these last 4 shades are from that Cloud Spun palette. Again, one of those that I'm not sure if is still around because ColourPop can't seem to like make up their mind on like what's gonna stick around, what's gonna go. But nonetheless, I'm happy to have it in my collection. Thank you guys for watching this extremely long video. Let me know if you made it to the end. Let me know what pink makeup products are your absolute favorite. And if it's not pink, what color is your absolute favorite to wear as far as makeup goes? Again, thank you guys so much for being here today. I would love it so much if you would give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel down below. As always, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay blessed. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.